Hey there, crazy kids. I am the Good Old Gamer, and it's time to take a trip down memory lane. We're going to take a look at all of my worlds, because I still have them. And I'm doing this mainly because I've been told that with the upcoming updates to where single-player worlds become multiplayer worlds and stuff like that, these older worlds need to be converted to current, whatever the world generator thingy is. And I'm not sure if some of these older worlds have been converted to these recent updates, so we're just going to run through them all. I'll give you guys a world tour during this process. And that way, maybe, in future updates, when single-player worlds become multiplayer worlds, we may just be able to hang out on some of these worlds together. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if that's going to work out or not, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Let's start off with single-player World 5, the world that started it all. I guess all of these worlds have to be converted, it looks like. It says it must be converted. It's everything but that one. So it's a good thing we're doing this. Lovely. Single-player World 5, the one that started it all back in Alpha. My very first Let's Play of Minecraft. And it's getting converted yet again. I think it's already been converted once or twice to newer updates, but it'll be cool to check it out. So this was the very first world I ever probably made in Minecraft, I think. Actually, I made one before this that lasted about, I don't know, half a minute or so, just to make sure everything would record well and stuff. And then this was the one I started. This is where my original Let's Play took place. As many of you guys remember, this was way back a while ago. Way back in Alpha. I think I just started playing Minecraft about the time that crouching was introduced into the game. And right here, we're in the more newer area. As you can see, I have some wolves and stuff now. This area, this house here that I built, as many of you guys remember, I built long after the original Let's Play was over, but I stayed on this world because I think I was waiting for an update for the game to come out, and I didn't want to start up a whole new series and a whole new world, so I just went back to the old one. And this one I converted from the original Alpha world by going through the Nether, making another portal, and ending up out here. Now, if I can remember where my bed is, I think it's up here. Yep. Go to sleep, turn it to day, and we'll go back to the actual original world area where I first settled down in my Let's Play. So this was actually a house at one point. A functioning home, you can see. And I must have finished it on September 12th, 2011. So wow, I haven't even been here since September, and now it's May of 2012. Wow, that's been a while. But this is an actual house design that I made. My original home in the original Let's Play that we're gonna go see here in a minute was not like this. It was not a house design. I think this is probably my best building construction I've ever made since I played Minecraft. There's really nothing inside of it, but outside looks really good. I think, anyway. Especially for my lack of building interest. I mostly am just an explorer, caver type person, but I think it turned out pretty well. And of course there's all kinds of birch trees over here because I needed all that wood for the house. So the original Let's Play world is off that way. I think I'll actually just go this way. No, wait. You know what? No. I'll go through the nether because I want to show you guys the nether. Now, I did make this world available for download for you guys, I believe, on the final episode of the original Let's Play. I believe there's a link to download this, but this house right here is not on it because I made it after. And we just go up this way. We go back over this way. Ignore the gas. Now this nether... if the gas would stop shooting me... This nether was generated back when the nether first came out. So you won't find fortresses and whatever else are in the nether nowadays. I suppose if you go out enough you could find it in this nether. If you generated new nether terrain. Because I didn't explore this very far, I don't think. Maybe I did, I don't know. I don't remember, but... Now this is my original homestead, very first settlement. As many of you guys will know, this was originally a mountain that I took down. You can see the part of the mountain right over there, and then behind this tower is another part of the mountain. I took it all down and ended up just making this into a home. This was originally just a shelter the first night back in Alpha, you know, where coal was kind of difficult to find and stuff. I ended up taking shelter, spending a dark night here in this, what was originally a small little cave inside the mountain, right kind of in this area. And we just grew from there. It just originally was this small shelter area, and I just expanded onto it as the series went on. And this was mainly used... This Let's Play world was mainly used as a demonstration area. So see, I have a farm here, but it's kind of small because it's just demonstration of how to set up a farm. Of course, over here is a note block to show you guys how the note blocks sound on different blocks. This is just an example of what you could do with bricks when bricks came out. Originally, when I had to set up these fences, you weren't able to stack fences, so I had to build up dirt blocks and then place the fences down as we went and remove the dirt blocks, and I used this as a demonstration of that for you guys. Originally, there weren't gates in fences, so we had to use doors. And then this was an attempt at an animal farm, because back in those days, back in Alpha and even some of Beta, animals would spawn on grass if there was enough grass and it was lit up. So this was my attempt at an animal farm, and the reason that I have another brick on fire there is because I was hoping the animals would slaughter themselves and I could just walk in and take all the stuff from their drops. And this was to show you how to get grass inside your buildings. And this was a storage system I'd set up that I ended up just not really using. Like, you can tell that I took down a mountain when I have this much dirt in storage. Does this not scream mountain to you? Look at this, and all this dirt here, and gravel, stone, yeah. we took down a mountain. Somebody made a comment the other day on one of these videos, one of my original videos I think I made, where they commented that they couldn't believe I had a sand house, because obviously my walls here are made of sand, but I just liked it as a texture. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm using the default texture pack, and this is what it looked like for the most part. For the longest time, the cobblestone was much uglier, and I didn't really care for it too much. That's why it's only framed on the top, and it's not a big use of cobblestone in my home. You'll notice I have smooth stone as floor and stuff. A lot of people like to use cobblestone like everywhere as their main building material, but I don't really like the look of it, especially back then when it first came out. They've since changed the default texture, so it's a little better, but... And of course, this is just a demonstration of a cake and jack-o'-lantern, when the jack-o'-lanterns were first introduced. Bookshelves, just another example of what they look like, basically. This is my very first workbench in the series. Stayed here since day one. Random stuff. Now, of course, back then in alpha as well, you'll notice that the food's separated here. That's because it didn't stack back in alpha. And so you could have chests and chests and chests of food just because it'd be like this. They wouldn't stack. Because, of course, back then they were just basically health packs. So you didn't have a hunger system or any of that. Speaking of hunger, might as well nom nom this super old cake. I'll leave some of that. More demonstrations of stuff back here. Over here was a demonstration of the dispenser. And this is just more mountain storage because I had demonstrated how you could make an excavation site like we had here look more natural by doing this, just extending it all the way across. I didn't complete this because it was a very monotonous task and it doesn't make for good videos, but I did get this started for you guys, so those of you who downloaded the world and wanted to play here could continue the project for yourselves. Over here is another demonstration of note blocks, how they sound different on the wood. This, of course, is demonstrating dyeing the wool when that came out, when you could turn flowers and other things into wool dyes. It was a demonstration of that. This originally was my epic burning forest back when trees would burn infinitely. It provided a nice light source. It looked really cool, but then they changed the fire so it eventually burned itself out, and the burning forest is no more, unfortunately. And it's turning nighttime. I don't know if I have any wool, so we're just gonna snag some here. Oops, that was snow apparently. I believe I stole the bed that was originally here and moved it over to that new area. Whoops. So this is all very nostalgic, especially for me, because this is where Minecraft really just started for me. Way back in alpha. Originally I had my bed out here someplace. Also as a demonstration more than anything. I never really ended up using the bed a whole lot. I don't remember. Because I was used to playing alpha where you had to spend the nights mining or caving or doing something. But Oh, I had a bed right here. Wow, I am absolutely retarded. I'm sure you guys are screaming at the screen, your bed, it's right there. Whatever. Now we have another one. I died so many times my first night. For me, there was no surviving on night one, or, well, night one / morning two. If you'll remember from my original series, when this was just a cave and I was just taking shelter in here, skeletons killed me like 2 or 3 times. That was good times. This is Coal Cave Alpha. This is where I originally found some of my first coal. That's why it's called Coal Cave Alpha. I had originally thought that this was going to be one cave to explore, and then I'd go explore a bunch of others, but this is pretty much the only cave I ever explored because it was just so huge. I'm not going to go through it all because it'll take forever to go through it all, but this was a huge cave. Especially for back in alpha days, this was probably the biggest cave that I think I've ever seen anybody back in those days go through. It was just huge. I would get lost so many times in here. It was just absolutely humongous. Now this tree here, this was another demonstration. This tree was to show you guys how you could plant trees underground in case you wanted to live underground or whatever. You could have your own tree farm underground. Didn't have to be up in the outside air. And of course this cave system is, like I said, just absolutely huge. So this thing goes on for miles, and this is one of those caves. This is an alpha cave. This is a Minecraft cave. This cave is not the Swiss cheese kind of caves that you get in today's Minecraft worlds. This is a solid cave. Of course, this one goes off in a bunch of different directions because it's huge, but it's not as Swiss cheesy as everything that you get in the caves today. One thing about this cave is that because it's so old, because I explored it back in alpha, it's not going to have things like lapis or I think it'll have redstone, but it won't have lapis, and it probably won't have the same amount of like diamonds and iron and coal and stuff because the ores weren't generated as much as they are now. There's an overabundance of ores and precious minerals and stuff these days in comparison. Let's see. And of course out here, this tower, I can't remember the specifics on why I made this tower. I can't remember if viewers wanted me to make this tower or if I just decided I'm going to make a tower, but we ended up making this absolutely huge empty tower. Over there by the observation deck, which we'll go to in a minute, there's an arrow pointing down to our home, which was originally going to be my little signal from when I'm off exploring and stuff, which I never really did much exploring, but that was going to be my marker to find my home if I'm out and about. Turns out that this tower, especially because it's made of glowstone, as you can see down the center, turns out this is much more of a marker than that little arrow over there is. But I never got around to actually doing anything with the tower. As you can see, it's just plumb empty. And this was an elevator, a water elevator back in the day when you could make decent use of water elevators. I didn't really make use of it in terms of using it as like a boat, but back in the day you could ride a boat up this like really quick. I didn't even really realize that. I didn't even make it for that purpose. I made it just for what I'm doing right now, which is to just kind of swim up. But back in alpha you could ride a boat right up a waterfall real quick. I think some of my viewers after I made it were telling me to do it that way, but I never really bothered. And of course, since I just built the tower and then never really did anything with it, I never had much reason to come up here very often in the first place. But I made this little area up here so you could come up and observe the local surroundings. One thing to note about this tower is that it's built right on the top of the original height limit. They've since doubled the height limit to, what is it, 256 or 258 or something, but it was originally 128, and this tower is right up there on that limit. The torches or whatever that are on the very top are the very, very top of the map limit that I could place blocks. I think that was another reason I made the tower, is because it marked the map limit that you could place blocks on. You can stand on those blocks. You can stand higher up than that, but you can't place blocks any further than what's right up here. And of course, back then, ladders were able to move you up one block down or one block higher than they currently do. So I only needed one bit of ladder there. But see, this is the kind of the lookout area that I never got around to really finishing. That's what our home looks like from above. Looking pretty cool. Not really sure why I put up so many torches, but I guess I really didn't want mobs to come up here. And of course, see, I got it lined up so nothing bad will happen to you up top when you get there. Now, of course, you can fall down quicker as long as you manage to get back in the water before you hit the glass. Of course, the slipgate room, that's what I call the nether portal room here. Back outside. This is my attempt at an ice cream cone. This was back when I built really silly stuff. That didn't mean a whole lot, but I figured since we were in a snow world and we had a bunch of snow gathered up, we could make something out of it. So I made an ice cream cone. Now this, of course, is demonstration of the pistons. This is a sticky piston. This is a regular piston. You can see that when I back up, the regular piston drops and the sand drops back down. And that sticks because that's a sticky piston. So that was another demonstration. This right here, of course, is the demonstration of the mine carts. Now this, of course, used the original boosters because we didn't have the gold boosted tracks, powered tracks. And it was just a random sort of roller coastery type deal. Just to show you what you could do with the tracks that didn't really go anywhere. So I think that's about it for this particular world, and this goes back into the caves. I didn't really do a whole lot of exploring in this world. I mainly just stuck here to home base, either improving the house, demonstrating something, or exploring Coal Cave Alpha. So most of the exploring I did was really just underground stuff. But that's about it for this world. So we're gonna see, and this is part of the epic burning forest that I had with some of these tree trunks here. Because wood logs used to burn infinitely if you set them on fire, kind of like netherrack does now. Oh, I guess I could show you before we end this world exploration for this particular world. This right here, of course, as I already mentioned, was the original marker for home that I made, because it points directly to our entrance. And it's an arrow. When I made this, of course, the tower wasn't there, and other markers for home weren't there, so this was going to be my exploration marker. Then I made this, so this ended up more of a marker than this, and so did the tower. So the observation deck, of course. I think this originally got built out of a moment of desperation. I was up here. I don't remember if I was making the arrow or if I was just up here doing something else, but it was nighttime and there was a bunch of enemies around down here on the floor, so I made us this original stack of cobblestone, and while I was sitting up here I was bored during the night waiting for the night to end, and so I ended up making this, and then I just expanded on it. Of course I made the water elevators to save on ladders. Go to sleep again. Alright, so this has been Single Player World 5, my original alpha world. I still have it, and because I've looked at it today, it should be converted and ready to go. So hopefully with the next updates to Minecraft, where single player worlds can possibly become multiplayer worlds, maybe you guys can come check it out with me sometime. Maybe, if we can get that working. I don't know if I can possibly get that working or not, but if that becomes a possibility, we will see. Anyways, that'll do it for video number 1. I think I'm going to make this a mini-series and just go ahead and make separate videos for each of our world explorations. Next time, we will check out... where is it? This one right here, I believe. Groovin' World 1. This was sort of originally just my single player map concurrent with the alpha map we were just on. It was also made back in alpha, and it was going to be what I did on my own time off camera, but I never actually got around to doing much with it. But we'll go check it out in the next series, next video for this little mini-series kind of thing. So, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. I am the Good Old Gamer. This has been more Groovin' with Minecraft. Taking a look at the past worlds I've had. Bye-bye for now.